Hey Health Nuts, welcome back to my channel. We are talking birth, natural birth. That's Sage swimming out of my vagina. Hey Health Nuts, welcome back to my channel. My name's Nicole and I'm so excited about today's video. You guys know I'm very passionate about birth, motherhood, babies, all that stuff. And this is a video I almost didn't film because I felt like I already talked about a lot of stuff throughout different videos, but I also feel like there's some things I want to go into more detail about. So today's video, I am gonna be chatting all things about what I did to prepare for a unmedicated / natural birth. Yes, all births are natural. I just say natural because I feel like people relate to that word as no drugs when it comes to birth, but whatever way you are going to or have birthed your children is beautiful and unique to you. And it's all just terminology. So whether C-section, vaginal birth, however, drugs, no drugs, it is your unique, beautiful experience. And I just want to talk to you guys today about my experience and what I personally did to prepare for whatever birth I thought I may have. And now that I know I had an unmedicated birth, these are things looking back that I think really helped me and kind of prepare my mind, my body, physically, mentally for the birth of our baby Sage. So before we hop in, make sure you are subscribed. Click that subscribe button down below. I post here every single week. We got mommy content, food content, wellness, fitness, all the things, what I eat in a day's, lifestyle stuff. So make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss a video. By the way, I also have a full pregnancy mommy playlist. I will have linked down below in the info box. All right, so I wrote down a bunch of notes of things that I did to prepare for birth. I asked Matt as well for some ideas that I may have missed, and there's definitely some key things that I want to talk about, and then some other kind of things that I think just help support me in general. Okay, so first thing I want to talk about is obviously when you get pregnant, you need to start building your birthing team, and that may just be your OB, which is your OBGYN here in Canada. I don't know what the system is for other countries, but you have your OB, which is where you switch from your family doctor to your birthing doctor. So they could be the one who is delivering your baby if they are on duty that night. Now I knew right from the start, after just my own intuition, talking to other mamas, watching other videos, that I really wanted to go the midwife route. And that wasn't confirmed until I actually got to experience both. So right off the bat, midwives were on a waiting list, and so I couldn't see one for the first few months. So for the first little bit, I was seeing my family doctor, and then because I was on a waiting list for my midwife, my doctor was like, you should just sign up or just start seeing an OB because you can still switch halfway through. And how it works here in Canada is you either have one or the other. It's covered by OHIP. You either go the midwife route or you go an OB route, and it is covered by OHIP. Which is our healthcare system here in Canada. Now, a lot of people think when you have a midwife, it's no drugs, home birth, super hippity-dippity stuff. That is not the case. They are just a different approach to it. For many reasons, I want to go the midwife route, which I'll talk about. So I actually did do one appointment with an OB. And it was actually the same OB that my sister had for her kids. And I did not have a good experience. Let's just say I had such a bad experience that once I got into the car, because Matt was in the parking lot, because at the time, and probably still now, dads cannot go into, or partners cannot go into any of the appointments with mom. So he would just be outside waiting in the parking lot. We would FaceTime, and he also did not like the experience. So it wasn't just me being emotional. I did not like it. It was super impersonal. It was a 10-minute appointment. I didn't like it. I felt like she didn't even ask me how I was doing as a first-time mom in a pandemic. Just didn't ask me how I was doing. It was very impersonal. Any questions that I asked her that wasn't in line with how she thought, she actually judged me and gave me a weird look, why wouldn't you want to do that? So I felt very uncomfortable being open and honest and asking questions. I didn't feel like it was a safe space. And it was, like I said, it was a very short appointment. Didn't get what I needed out of it, and I ended up coming back in the car and crying because I was just so upset with how that appointment went. It was just awful. So I told Matt I am not seeing her again. I was not happy about the experience, and then we just waited to get a hold of the midwives. We called them, harassed them. No, we didn't harass them, but I just kept calling, and eventually we came up, because I think depending on your due date, you're in a different like priority list. So as my due date was approaching, this was still like months away. I think I was in my second trimester by the time, halfway through my second trimester, by the time I actually got hooked up with the midwife. And I did my first call virtual and already knew right off the bat, like, wow, this is the route for me. And then we did do in-person appointments, and it was the difference of like a 10-minute appointment to like a 45-hour appointment where they ask you questions, they check what you're taking for supplements, lifestyle stuff, more things about the baby, like baby size, like, I don't know, there's just so much more involved in the appointments, and I felt like more of a comfortable, open space to talk about my needs and just worries I had like I could call them at any time. I had a number, emergency number. I don't know what you normally have with an OB. This is just my experience with the midwife. So I cannot recommend it enough if you're like on the fence of either or, and like, I don't want to tell you what to do, but I would do a midwife again and again. And it was just such an amazing experience. And those are, so you usually there's different teams, and you usually have about 2 or 3 midwives that you may see, because depending on who's on call that night, it may be different on who you get. And then you usually have 2. I think you always have 2. One that's there in the beginning with you, and then one that comes in after, once you're like in active labor and about to push. So the 2 ladies that were there with me for Sage's birth were like amazing, and I would have them again and again for any future babies. It was an amazing experience. The people that you surround yourself with for your birth team is crucial. The other key person that I had for my birthing team was our doula. So I will link everybody that I used in the blog post that I'll have down below for you guys. But we had our doula, Jessica, so sweet. The way I see it is the midwives are there to make sure baby is healthy, and the doula is there to support mom. And when you're pregnant, there's a lot you need support with emotionally, physically as well, like especially if it's your first, everything's so new, and it's a big body transformation. So having our doula, it's something that you pay out of pocket for. Yeah, basically with her, we had a couple appointments beforehand to prep ourselves for our birth plan, our actual birth, and then also she was there the day of when I was in contractions at home. She came to our home. And right now, doulas can't go to the hospital unless like you swap them for your partner, because you can only have one support person like where we are. But she was there. And then also after Sage was born, I should mention that we had support from both our midwives who came for house visits, which was so amazing, especially for new time parents. And then we also had our doula come, and they did like all the weighing and stuff here. We didn't have to go to the hospital. It was awesome and just an amazing experience. So those are just things like having the right people, and like interview people. Make sure that you jive well with them before you're just like, yep, this is the person. Because we interviewed other people that our friends recommended, but they just didn't jive well with us as like somebody else did. The next thing I want to mention is that pretty much throughout my entire pregnancy, I really focused on my health and being active and eating healthy as much as I could. I mean, the first trimester, I barely worked out. I felt like crap. I probably ate crackers and cereal and soup most of the time. But as I got into my second trimester and third trimester, I was able to eat more of my regular foods. And even if I didn't feel like eating certain foods, I would just make sure what I was eating still contained whole, real food and not just like processed junk food. So, you know, there is a balance, but you do want to make sure you are nourishing yourself, because what you're eating, baby is eating. So it's important, even if you feel like eating ice cream and chips all day, to really get in those key vital nutrients. And then, you know, you can look at supplementing too with vitamins and supplements, but speak to your health professional. I was taking a certain amount of vitamins, which I talked about in, I think, my second or third trimester update, which I have a whole video and blog post about. So you can see what I took there, but check with your professionals that you're seeing, because your needs are going to be different than my needs based on your body and your life. And then in terms of exercising, I was walking near the end of my first trimester, but basically throughout my entire pregnancy, walking was not only therapeutic for me, but it was a form of movement for me. It was my favorite type of exercise. I just wanted to walk it out. Like, it helped with just de-stressing. It helped with aches and body pains and stuff. And I felt my best when I was walking. We would do nature hikes. Even the uneven ground, I hear, is really good for preparing for birth, like near the end. You can do like curb walking as well. I just loved the fresh air, nature. It was therapeutic. I loved it. And then I would say in my second trimester, as I started to get my energy and feeling better, I started to do weekly training sessions with my prenatal coach, Laura, and we would do in-person training sessions once a week. And then besides that, I would do like yoga or just some of the exercises that I would do at home. But at least once a week, I was doing more, I would say like strength training, weight workouts. So they just made me feel really good and strong. And because I was seeing someone who specialized in prenatal training, I felt really safe and comfortable doing it with her, and like not like I was going to injure myself in any way. I feel like some doctors and health professionals are either so pro exercising or completely against it. If you can safely, I cannot recommend being active throughout your pregnancy enough. You are about to do the hardest marathon of your life. You need to prepare your body. So do what you need to do. Even if it's just walking, I highly recommend staying active if it's safe and you're able to. Other things that I did that I really enjoyed, and by no means do I think they are essential for having an unmedicated birth, but I really enjoyed doing them, so I just wanted to mention them. And I was really fortunate that I had coverage from insurance to pay for a lot of this. But things like pelvic floor physio was amazing. I think everyone, if you do one thing that I'm going to mention, I would say pelvic floor physio, just to see where you're at. You don't have to do a ton of appointments, just see where you're at. And then you can get some exercises to help strengthen your pelvic floor and prep it for birth. So there's different things. In my second and early third trimester, I was doing certain exercises. And then as I hit like a certain amount of weeks, we transitioned to more like relaxation with the pelvic floor to allow it to open for baby to come out. So it's just really important to take care of your pelvic floor. It's something I didn't really think about until I was pregnant. But if you don't, you're going to pay for it later on. It's going to be harder to control like urination and just being scared of jumping and running and all those things, like just your regular life stuff. It's really important for like your pelvic floor holds all the organs and baby up, so it's under a lot of pressure when you're pregnant. So if you're able to see a pelvic floor physiotherapist, they will do an internal check to see where you're at and help you, give you some exercises on what you can do. The other thing is I saw an acupuncturist basically from the second trimester. I feel like second trimester is where I like got things into gear, because I pretty much started treating my pregnancy like a job, and not like, oh, it's a job, but like I just wanted to really put my all into it to support my body and feel my best, because there was many times I did not feel my best. So acupuncture was amazing for basically sleep and relaxation, which is so important when you're pregnant, to stay calm and relaxed, because baby feels that anxiety and stress. Like when you're pumping cortisol into your body, it's like affecting baby as well. And there's so many baby books that say like how important it is to stay calm. So for me, I was having a lot of insomnia in my first trimester, and I swear as soon as I started the acupuncture, it helped with the sleep, helped with being calm. Like I was so peaceful after I started acupuncture. And then later on, I ended up doing induction acupuncture, which helped kind of prep my body into going into labor. And yeah, that was really painful. The induction acupuncture was very uncomfortable, but in general, acupuncture is my new favorite thing, and I really enjoyed doing it throughout my pregnancy. So we're now gonna get into like the nitty-gritty stuff that maybe is not as glamorous, but I cannot recommend it enough. It's super affordable to do, and if you're pregnant, like look into this, see if it's the right choice for you, but I cannot recommend it enough personally. So two of the things, number one, perineal stretching. I probably talked about this in so many videos. A lot of people asked, did it help? I think it did. I did not tear on my perineum. And it's the area, I'll put like a little graphic here. It's the bottom area of your vagina opening, right before your bum. It's like that spot there. I just want to get visual so you guys know what that is, because I had no idea what that was until I got pregnant, until I heard about stretching, and I was like, what? You stretch out your, like, what is that? Everybody I saw mentioned it. My pelvic floor physio, she actually did it to me to show me how to properly do it. Hypnobirthing mentioned it. My doula mentioned it. My midwives mentioned it. Like everyone mentioned it. So it wasn't just like this, once again, a hippy dippy thing that you're like, oh, that sounds weird and gross. Why would I do it? Do it. It's not gonna, there's no harm that comes from it. And if anything, you may prevent some tearing, or maybe if you were going to have 3 degree 3-degree tearing, you're only gonna have 2. We started to do our stretching at around 35 weeks, and we, just to give you specifics, we use coconut oil as like a lubricant. Matt would do it. There are ways for you to do it on yourself if you don't have a partner that can help you, if they just feel really weirded out. But it's kind of like a cool bonding thing in a weird way. It's like they're helping you with your birth. Like, anyways, we really bonded with that. It's not the sexiest thing at all. It's not like foreplay. It's very unsexy, and you're just like, and it's uncomfortable and a little painful. But we used coconut oil. We did it for about, I think we did it 5 or 10 minutes. I can't remember. I feel like we did at least 5 minutes, and we would, so if there's a U, I remember my pelvic floor physio would be like, you would hold on one side for a minute, down for a minute, this side, like almost like a peace sign for a minute each. And then you would like do back and forth, and you're only really going from like 3 to 9 o'clock. Is that right? 3 to 9? Yeah. And you would just be putting like constant pressure on just like the outside muscle. So we would do that, and it kind of felt like this, a bit of a burning, uncomfortable sensation, but as you do it more, like it gets less painful. And that's the part that you're stretching, because that's the part that baby's head is going to come out of and possibly tear, which is not a fun time. So we would do it. We'd have a timer, and we did it basically every single day. Some people recommend it 3 times a week. Some say daily. We did it daily because we just thought if there's something we can do to prevent tearing and pain later on, we're gonna do it. The other thing, which I thought was so weird, I first heard about it online through another YouTuber, and I thought it was the weirdest thing. I'm like, do people do that? We did it because our doula actually told us to do it. So when we would be, after we'd be done the stretching, we would then insert, yes, insert a primrose oil capsule. I would poke a hole in it, and we would, Chloe's looking at me like, what? I did not know about this. We would insert and put it right next to my cervix. So it's like that donut lifesaver at the end of the tunnel. You just put it next to it, and it helps like lubricate and soften your cervix. Because that cervix that's really tight and hard needs to open up for baby to come out. So we would do that 1 capsule, and then I would also be taking internally some capsules as well. I think it was like 2 a day, I can't remember. But like I said, maybe talk to a naturopath or a doula or a midwife before you just start doing some at-home remedies. We were given the go-ahead to do this, and we did it, and I would do it again. So that was just kind of our nighttime ritual. We would do the oil capsules with the stretching, and that was like how we were prepping to hopefully prevent tearing and just help lubricate that area. The other thing I did too was drink a lot of red raspberry leaf tea. It's not my favorite tea. It's not exciting at all, but I did drink, I think I did about anywhere from 1 or 3 cups a day. I think the more you drink, the better. But yeah, I did drink it. I think it's supposed to help like tone your uterus and help prep for labor. I can't say whether I think it helped or not. Like, I went into labor at 40 weeks plus 4 days. So I can't, yeah, I don't know. But if I was to pick one or the other, it'd be like the stretching and the oil tablets or capsules. And I didn't really do the dates. I think I started to do the dates here and there, but I think in order for the dates to really work, you have to do 6 a day, like every day. Once again, you never know what's gonna actually work, but I just didn't really get into the dates. I was like, that's a lot of sugar, is what I thought. So we also did do hypnobirthing. I have the exact, I will link the exact one that we did in the blog post. But we did hypnobirthing. I think we started at around, I want to say end of 2nd trimester, beginning of 3rd. And it was like 6 weeks long. We did it once every Sunday virtually. And I did like it. It was nice to connect with other moms and partners. It was nice because we just got to talk about different stages of birth and just feel more comfortable about the topic, and ask any questions that we want to know. Also learn how to meditate through contractions. They do this like rainbow meditation, and it's like a visualization one. It was nice too because it was something that Matt and I could do together as a couple and like commit together to like help prepare for baby on the way. Like mentally, I think it just helped prepare us, and it was good because it kept us accountable to researching and doing certain things, learning about different stretches and pressure points that Matt can help and positions that Matt can help me with during labor. They also helped with our just remembering to do a birth plan or a birth goal. They also talk about different terminology, like instead of using like contractions, use like, I think waves or instead of pain, surge. Like there's just different, it's like a different positive, it's like more of a positive mindset to birth as opposed to like pain. It's scary, it's intense. Like it was more of a comforting, positive approach. And you know what, I would recommend it. I did enjoy it. Yeah, it was just nice to connect with Matt and do that. Now, if you're someone who has never meditated before, you're probably gonna notice more of a difference from doing hypnobirthing because that's a big part of it is meditation. I have been someone who's been meditating for years now. I cannot recommend meditation enough for when you're prepping for labor. And just in general, like everyone I think needs to meditate. It is the most relaxing thing for our minds. We're always so go, go, go. And I just think that everyone could benefit from meditation. And there is something about when you're in the depths of that intense surge, I won't say the P word, of those surges, like you are finding something deep within you to manage. And part of that, I think I went into a deep meditation state and I was like, we got to hold it together, Nikole. We got to get through this. And I really do believe that my years of meditation, my meditation practice is a big part of what helped me get through an unmedicated labor experience. And just staying calm and collected and not like losing my mind. Another thing is just being organized. So getting your birth plan or birth goal, whatever you want to call it, together. It's obviously not what's necessarily going to go down when baby's coming, but it just helps you like think about all the things that may come up that you may have to decide on during birth. Like there's so many things that can come up, and having a plan, like your decisions planned ahead of time, will make it so much less stressful when that question or situation comes up during birth. You were not in the right mind frame to make a decision. Like even when I remember I was right here laying on the bed, 8 centimeters dilated and a lot of pain, and we almost had a home birth or we were gonna go to the hospital. And I remember in my birth plan, I said, labor at home for as long as possible and then go to the hospital. And we almost did a home birth, but I'm really happy we ended up going to the hospital for many reasons. I really loved the support of the nurses for the next day, and that was really, really great, and we wouldn't have had that here at the house. So having those like pre-answered questions in the birth plan is so helpful. So being organized with that, but also like pack your bags. Don't leave them till last minute. Pack your hospital bags. Have baby's room ready. Yes, he or she isn't going to be sleeping there right away, but I cannot tell you, like once Sage was here, I was like, I'm so grateful that we finished that room. It's one less thing off my to-do list. If you think you don't have time before baby, you ain't gonna have time after baby. I'll tell you that. It's just a different, like your focus is on her, not like decorating a baby's room. Just being prepared. We already had a plan for Cashew. My sister came and picked her up when I was in labor. Having the house clean, having all your ducks in a row. So like you can just focus on you and baby and your body and what you need to do as a soon-to-be parent. My next tip is just to be open-minded. You don't know what's going to happen, if you're going to have a C-section, if you're going to want to try for a natural birth, but you have to do an epidural for whatever reason. Like so many things can come up when you are going into labor, and I think just being open-minded to whatever you need to do is super helpful. I know for me, I always in the back of my mind really wanted to have an unmedicated birth. I just wanted to experience what it was like, but also too, I was always like, yeah, if it's too intense, I'll take the epidural. It's fine. I'm not a hero if I go the unmedicated route. Like whatever I need to do to make sure I'm safe and baby is safe is the route I'm gonna go. And you know what? I ended up being able to have a unmedicated birth, but I would have totally been okay with an epidural. So yes, I had a preference, but I was also open to other ways of birthing Sage. Like I still remember at the hospital, I was almost 10 centimeters dilated. Matt is over my shoulder asking me, do you want the drugs? You know? So he knew like, I wasn't like, don't like give me the drugs. Like if that was an option and I needed it, like to me, it's almost better to take the epidural so you can relax and let your body dilate than if you are just so tensed and you've been contracting for hours and hours and you're still at like 4 centimeters. So in terms of actual like leading up to birth, just a couple things I want to mention that really helped me kind of cope with the pain. Was music, calming music. To be honest, like I didn't have a meditation tape going on during labor. We just had calming music. But I do think that meditation history that I have helped me be in that meditative state without like having a guided meditation, if that makes sense. We also had the lights dimmed and I was in a nice warm bath, just creating that atmosphere, that very calming atmosphere, as well as I was diffusing and rolling oils. I really enjoyed using peppermint for the nausea I was experiencing. And then I used a blend called Valor, and it has like blue tansy and I believe it has lavender in it. Just really calming, bravery, courage oils, and that really helped. And the hip pressing helped so much. Like mat pressing on my hips and kind of distributing the pressure was really awesome. Every single contraction, if there wasn't someone there to put pressure on my hips, like it just, the pain was way more intense if no one was pressing on my hips. So that was really helpful. So yeah, just like having some go-to things that you can do to help kind of minimize or distract the pain, I think is really important if you are trying to plan for an unmedicated birth. All right, I feel like that is everything I wanted to cover in today's video. Hopefully this is helpful to any of you who are planning your birth in the next little bit. And I just wanted to give you guys my experience. Hopefully it didn't scare you. Honestly, the biggest thing was just not letting in other people's fears and experiences into my current life when I was in my 3rd trimester, like leading up to birth. I think, you know, you do you, stay calm. Don't let other people, you know, put on their beliefs and stuff onto your birthing experience, because everyone wants to tell you like the worst case scenario. And I really kind of just like put up my bubble, my wall, and focused on me and baby and Matt and us as a family. And I would only watch like positive birthing stuff. So I hope that my birth journey has been a positive one for you guys to watch and follow along. And if you have not yet watched my birth story, I have a very intense, very real and raw birth vlog. I'll link it up here. I also have our birth story where Matt and I just talk you through it. If you want to see both of those, I will link them for you guys. But that's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so excited for any pregnant mamas out there that are watching this and are getting ready for your baby to come into the world. It is the craziest, hardest, but best experience you are gonna experience, and I'm just really excited for you. So thank you, subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.